Oh dear, oh dear. Again, Imran Khan has been played about like a stupid fool in Pakistan. Out of the blue, suddenly the judges in the High Court said, "Yep, you need to be taken to the hospital. We know your eye's not working. Something is really badly wrong. You need to be looked at by a panel of doctors, which also consist of your own sister, who's a doctor, and your main physician from the hospital that Imran Khan created himself." And everything was agreed. And, uh, you know, the sister, the physician, they turned up to take him to the hospital. They were led away in two different directions. The sister was taken in one direction. The physician was taken into another direction. Physician was taken in a car to some stupid place by the police officers. Very, very, polite spoken. Nothing wrong. But they just kept him sitting here, there, everywhere. Sister was taken into a pitch dark area. She couldn't figure out what was going on. Through the woods, through here, through there. Eventually ended up in a place. It was so dark she couldn't even figure out that it was a hospital. Apparently stuff happened over there. Imran Khan was quite shocked to see his own sister when he turned around and he said, "Oh, it's you." "Yeah, it's me." "Oh, I'm in hospital." "Yes, you are in hospital." And, some strange stuff happened. And then basically afterwards, they just dumped him back into the jail when the court had actually quite clearly said he needs to be shifted to a hospital and he remains in the hospital until he gets better. And let me tell you something about Pakistan. The judges would not have said anything like that because they are total puppets. They would have never said any of it unless the army general would have said, "This is what you need to do," and say, which would have been done. In the meantime, Nawaz Sharif government probably pissed themselves because their henchmen were saying this is some kind of a ganging up taking place against him. And the next thing you know is they must have done some kind of a deal with the chief marshal, because what they've done is literally in the last 18 to 20 hours, they've gone and increased the powers even more. Already the field marshal controls everything that goes on, but officially they have increased his powers to even more level that has never been seen in history for a soldier who's supposed to be a guard of the country. Instead seems to be leading the country, but he's been given even more bloody powers. So things have gone out of control, and Imran Khan was looked at and thrown back in jail. And everybody feels, from Imran Khan's side, everybody feels, including myself, feel double-crossed, fooled. The whole system is a complete mess. There's no legal system. There's no justice. There's nothing. Justice is, literally, the High Court judges are told by the crony field marshal that this is what you can do, can't do, blah, blah, blah. Everything is led by them. And selling off country assets, selling off powers, selling off anything that it takes to keep Imran Khan inside seems to go on, because the PLMN, which is Pakistan Muslim League, this crony Nawaz Sharif, who looks like a fucking field marshal, Herr Hitler himself, as well as his brother, the crony, who wants to be back in power fourth time round. I mean, whose face is becoming like a bloody football. That's how round his face is. When he wanted to run from the country, he literally said, "Oh, my platelets are dropping. Oh, this is happening, that is happening." And at the time, the investigation actually found that one of his own men's dogs, they injected something and then took out its blood with falling platelets, and said this is Nawaz Sharif's blood. So they used a dog's blood to prove that he needs to leave the country, and then he ran away. Imran Khan wasn't like that. He actually walked and went to the hospital last night, and he wasn't surprised. He wasn't surprised how he was taken back. But one thing for sure he kept saying repeatedly to his sister, that's been reported by his sister, was they're worse than animals. They're worse than animals. They're keeping him in solitary confinement, a death sentence confinement, where his biggest problem is not the health, it is actually keeping him in solitary confinement, which is making more things happen to him than anything else. And this was all initiated initially by the crony government with the Americans that they fooled, and they said Imran Khan wants to do this, want to do that, blah, 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 blah. And you don't need Americans, you don't need to give them much encouragement to start destructing the world. So between them and the crony army generals at the time, and now the field marshal, who seems to have a serious problem. I mean, one thing Imran Khan keeps saying, they're worse than animals. They're worse than animals. They're worse than animals. Even animals will have more dignity than the field marshal of Pakistan. That's the kind of times we're living. And here in the West, we've got people like Trump. And then we've got the Zionist government here. Again, they brought another prime minister who's a big Zionist stooge. I tell you, world is not a good place, guys. World is not a fucking good place. Oh, I don't know what else to say. Anyway, I've said enough. Love you guys.